Do better than that. Let's get cooking.
What?
Sheriffs are here.
Why are they here?
My name's Rick Carver. I'm a licensed real estate broker. This home has been foreclosed on.
No, this is not
I
happening.
need you, your mom, and your son to step off the property.
This is not your home.
Mr. Carver, please don't.
Sir, you have 2 minutes. Pack whatever belongings you need.
Oh my God.
Does he have to stand there while she packs up? Is that right?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Andrew. Hello. Hi. So I guess first question is kind of, were you aware before of the housing bubble? What kind of did you learn? And is it black and white, or did it piss you off when you kind of learned more about what was going on?
My experience, well, reading the script, I got deeply, deeply upset and in a visceral, like, personal way. And I was very confused because I've never been through an eviction. But I somehow knew what it was. I somehow understood in a emotional, personal way that feeling of being tossed out and treated as garbage and treated like you're not a worthy contributor to society. That feeling of exile. I think everyone knows what that feeling is, especially in the current system we're in. There's not much acceptance of who we are just as we are. There's always this, what I feel anyway in the system is this pressure to be more than we are, or this pressure to be a certain version of who we are. What with social media and, we're always pretending, we're always lying, we're always trying to be the most authentically, only the pretty parts of authentic.
You only post the good things on Instagram.
Right. So by doing that, we're exiling parts of ourselves that the culture doesn't deem worthy, because if we reveal those parts, there's a fear that we're going to be exiled ourselves entirely or rejected, which is what this part of the story is about. So yeah, I think there's a great big portion. Well, to be honest, I don't think the system of capitalism gone insane is serving any party. The people who are doing the evicting are not happy. The people who are being evicted are definitely not happy. It's a culture that is pitting people against each other and stripping us of our ability to create real community. And we still have the ability. It's just really hard work to care for each other in the current culture.
How do you fare yourself when you're stuck between a rock and a hard place?
I try and just stay there until the staying the I like the idea of staying in the tension of something, and because if you exit either way, you're kind of starving yourself of this third thing that could happen, where the imagination gets you out of whatever situation you're in. It's usually if there are two easy options out, just wait for that. I'd like to wait for the third. But no, I struggle. I hate it. Like I hate the way life is set up, because there's lots of rocks and hard places that I find myself in. But I think once you surrender to that life's a series of kind of initiations into a deeper way of living and a more conscious and wholer way of living as yourself in the world. It's very painful every time, but I think it's worth it.
When you're that vulnerable, how do you kind of keep a mindset where you don't let someone take advantage?
Well, we don't always, we're not always lucky enough to be able to call the shots in that way, I mean, I don't think Andrew's character in the movie is naive. I don't think he's, unintelligent. You can tell the guy's dying for a break, for an opportunity, and once I give him this opportunity, he's smart enough to not just turn around and walk away. He struggles with it. But yeah, you just have to really fight to not be a victim, and not accept that mentality. It's such a prevalent mentality in this country, and you just have to fight against it.
you just made me think of any parallels in Hollywood, because there's so many young actors who would be dying to sit where you're doing, to do anything that they could, and there's so many people being like, oh, take a class, do this.
Right.
I mean, what kinds of things would you say to, like, you know, a young actor who's dying to do this and will do anything to do it?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, excuse me. I started out doing this for free, you know, in little cafe basements and tiny little theaters in Chicago, you know, with 3 to 5 people in the audience, and I was willing to do that to learn and honestly, just because I love doing it so much. You know, some people, I think, maybe their love of the acting is secondary to wanting to be, I don't know, famous or make money or something. But I was never, my only ambition was the art. It's the only thing I ever cared about, and it just kind of led to this.
What can you tell me about Batman versus Superman?
Well, Batman versus Superman is a story of, I don't know, it's going to be exciting. They got Wonder Woman in there, which I'm happy about. And Lex Luthor is going to be in there.
Are there explosions?
Are there explosions? No. It's kind of drawing room. It's a drawing room movie. It's kind of like Remains of the Day. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Remains of the Day.
Yeah.
When I was just talking to Michael, there's kind of parallels between this film and Hollywood in terms of when you're a younger actor, they want to sit right where you're sitting, and there's many people who are like, come do this for me, come do this for me. Any parallels in your own career coming up where someone's like, oh, like, Andrew, come, do this, it'll get you to this place?
Yeah. I think that's really astute and yeah, tragic. Well, it goes back to what does our culture value? It values youth. It values a very limited idea of beauty that kind of, again, exiles and devalues all of the abundant beauty that the world has, and that we find in the diversity of our world. Yeah, it's very limited. It's very, very limited, and it's very narrow and seductive. Yeah, there's a lot of seduction that goes on and temptation. There's also false idols that we are told to worship. You know, you can tell the religion of a city or of a town by the tallest building. So we know what that is in cities like LA and New York, and it's money. It's these things that we're told make us worthy human beings if we are on the top floor of that building, or if our bank balance is a certain height, or if we're driving this specific car. It's fucking bullshit. I'm sorry. I don't know if you can use that. It's bullshit though. It's death of a salesman. It's Willy Lomanism. It's this false idea that more is better. It's supersize me. It's all this kind of madness that we're going toward. So yeah, within the industry of Hollywood, yeah, there's I know that. I know what that is, and I know what it is to be tempted into it. And I know that if one is tempted into it, it's very damaging. It makes you feel separate from other people. It makes you feel separate from the world, and I don't want that. I want to be with people, and I want to be in the world, and I don't want to be separated. I think that's what everyone really longs for, but we're told, oh no, separate is good, better is good, more is better. Like, no, I actually just would like to be who I am, and I'd like you to be who you are, and then we can have a conversation.
Well put. Thank you.
So you plan on staying for a while?
Just a couple of nights.
But you gotta get out of here. I'm gonna figure it out. I got no choice.
You kicked me out yesterday.
I didn't kick you out. The bank did. Did you do construction? I'll pay $50 cash.
Are you kidding me?
$50 shouldn't be a joke to you, son.
What are you doing with him? I gotta work, Because I want my home back.
Don't get emotional about real estate.
That's my family home.
If you want it.
I need to know that I have someone who can handle any situation 24/7.
Are you putting notices on my window?
When you work for me, you're mine.
This is serious money.
Do you want to double what you made?
Are we stealing? Is this stealing? Feels a bit like trouble.
What'd you think it was going to mean working for me?
So I was just talking with the guys, and I feel like this movie parallels Hollywood in a way because there are so many young actors who will do anything that someone says to be like, oh, I'll get you this part, I'll do this, I'll do that. For you, any parallels coming up in your career, experiences, or just in general thoughts on that?
Well, money brokers, are always potentially charming and devastating to the human spirit. So in whatever business we're in, they're always there. Having just seen Straight Outta Compton last night, that's a big theme in that film. So Mike Shannon's character certainly could be in many businesses, including ours. But I think the soul of a man, played so honestly and beautifully by Andrew, is the thing at stake here. And, the consequence of his justification of his behavior is losing his family, which means everything to him. And yet it's the thing he's fighting for. So I love films that explore the gray area of our humanity and how we can get caught up in, I'll do anything for this love, this drug, this art, this child, and
this
some
junket.
noble. This junk, I'll do anything. But I think, we get lost even with good intentions often. So remembering what's important is key. But, also, we're also taught that we're supposed to trust other people, and we're certainly supposed to trust the bank that's holding our money, the government that's supposed to protect us. And I think, it's interesting, someone asked me what home meant to me earlier, and I think that word evokes a sense of safety for all of us, and it's not something we have anymore after the last several years of the bailout. Even if we didn't know the details of what this story is like and what it's like to be evicted and lose everything, the middle class in America is now palpably aware that you're only a couple months rent away from losing everything, and so many people have been laid off. So I'm hopeful that it's a great time to share this story and remind people of how we can't let those guys win.
What advice would you give to someone in any situation? Because when someone's vulnerable, they're so susceptible to forces coming in. What would you say to someone who's stuck between a rock and a hard place? And how do you fare between a rock and a hard place?
Well, many Americans in this situation have become homeless, and that's why we're walking up and down the streets, particularly in Los Angeles right now, and seeing people who look just like us. Many of them are veterans because we still haven't learned how to take care of them when they come home from service, which is horrific. So, I guess the greatest advice is that consumerism is an old, uninteresting story. And to care for our planet best, to care for each other best, and to be kindest to ourselves, to live simply, even if we have luxurious opportunities, including wealth, is the best choice for the planet. And frankly, the sexiest thing. I don't know, cars are cool and it's all groovy, I get it, but to live with some measure, certainly in this city where we can't use water anymore, I think we're learning quickly that we have to consider how to live for everybody else and not just for ourselves.
What do I got to do to get Dr. Ellie in the next Jurassic Park?
You better write some letters, dude. Ellie, they like Ellie. They've been trying to figure it out, so we'll see.
What do you make of that hugeness of the biggest movie ever?
I'm amazed, actually, because I didn't know how it would translate. And I'm actually amazed at the original Jurassic Park obsession. It is literally like right now when we go places, I've emailed with a couple of the other actors from the original one, it's as though our movie just came out. because everyone's watching it again, and there's a generation of people who have kids who hadn't seen it, who've now seen it. So, you know, it's amazing. It's beyond a franchise. It's this larger story that's in the zeitgeist a little bit, because every kid I run into sees Jurassic Park.
Spielberg.
Yeah, and Blue Velvet. No, I'm kidding. Every 8-year-old in America required watching David Lynch and Jurassic Park. Or maybe that's just how I raise my kids.
Mr. Tanner, hate to say it, your eviction is scheduled for the day.
You kick people out of their houses?
So I can put a roof over your head and I can put food in his mouth.
Is this all worth it?
Don't be soft. You think America gives a flying rat's ass about you or me? Mm-mm. America doesn't bail out the losers.
You kicked me and my family out of our home? I don't know you! I know you!
America was built by bailing out winners, by rigging a nation of the winners, for the winners, by the winners. Only 1 in 100's gonna get on that ark, son. Every other poor soul's gonna drown.